All right, guys, how are we doing? Let's go. Let's do another live stream today on this Monday. We are seeing a nice little pump right here after this weekend. So let's do a quick update about what do I expect it's going to happen next. We did create a little bit of a CME gap on the downside, and there are some new interesting things developing. So we'll be waiting a bit until more people will be joining the stream. I've just spontaneously created this live stream because I felt so. Okay, I felt so. I was thinking, let's spit some alpha today. Let's spit some alpha during this stream because there are some interesting things we can discuss right now during this stream. There is definitely some very interesting things developing in the Bitcoin charts, which I do want to discuss. So let me have a look into how many people we have on board right now in the stream. YouTube did a little bit of an update for the stream panel, so I don't know where it is, where I can find it. But anyways, it's all good. It's all good. I'll just see it later. It's okay. I'll just start, and once I start, more people will come rolling in. So it's all fine. Let me know, guys, in the comments, how are you guys doing on this Monday? I've had a pretty good day. I've had a pretty good day. I mean, this morning I woke up with a pretty nice pump. And obviously, with the Platinum Group, we have been accumulating. Right, we've been accumulating a new position after this insane liquidation cascade, this insane liquidation event that has happened and wiped out pretty much everybody. I mean, I wanted to open up a new position, and I've been saying I am myself going to be taking a step back from the market. We immediately saw a very nice bump to the upside right over here, but I was still away from Dubai. I was still traveling. I pretty much have cancelled all of my plans of my whole trip back there because I was saying, right now I'll come to Dubai, clear my head, and create a new good strategy, new good plan. And I was saying, this is always, after such a huge liquidation event, you do not want to rush into any kind of trades. You want to take a step back, you want to slow down, because the market usually does give us a good new opportunity later again in the market. So yeah, that is why I was not rushing into any trade right over here. The people that did rush into any kind of a trade right over here, they got wrecked again by the market because the market again went to the downside. And I mean, we took advantage of that. During this dip right over here, we started to enter the market, and I was just placing limit orders down below, which basically got filled during this dip right over here. So that was absolutely great. It was by the end of last week. And we've gotten some very nice orders filled in the market, for Ethereum at least. And right now everything is bouncing back to the upside again. Keep in mind, I also did this live stream a few days ago. That was exactly during about this bottom right over here on Bitcoin, right? During the huge dump, everybody was panicking right over here. I was going live during this event. I was showing everything live about my orders, everything. I was showing everything. And we got a very nice push to the downside, filled our orders, and rebounded back to the upside. We didn't bounce back immediately to the upside. We still consolidated for a while right over here at these lows. And everybody still was panicking massively. Everybody started asking me, is right now a good time to enter the market? Is right now a good time to enter, blah, blah, you know? People started doubting the trade, etc. during this time and period. And I was just sticking to my trade. And boom, yeah, we did rebound right now, this morning, pretty much, okay, at the end of the Sunday. Which Bitcoin, more often, it does that more often, okay? And I've got a few scenarios right now on top of my mind, which I want to go over right here today, just in a quick live stream. But the first thing that I do want you to keep in mind is that, yeah, Bitcoin does this more often, where it sees already a pump at the end of the Sunday. It already sees a bit of a weekend pump, how we can call it. Now, interesting enough, this is also one of the reasons why I want to build this community. It's because other people can also share alpha and can share their insights. I'll quickly, in this group, I'll share the live stream so you guys can join in the chat. But one thing that I really like with this group is that other people can also share alpha, can also share their insights, can also share what they think is going on. And this morning, I've seen this pretty interesting statistic about Sunday pumps, about weekend pumps. And this is pretty interesting to me because usually, always, in the past, whenever we did see Sunday pumps or weekend pumps or like Monday morning pumps, right? It's always been a fake out. The only time it hasn't been a fake out was right over here, okay? Right over here, we created a gap and we continued to pump to the upside. Now, I always like to say that I'm not shorting these weekend pumps, right? I'm not, because I think that's stupid. I think that's foolish to do, to try and short these pumps, right? Because usually, sometimes they do tend to be very good, valid pumps to the upside. However, one statistic to do keep in mind is that this, yes, indeed, usually, historically speaking, in the past 100 days, whenever we have seen these Sunday pumps, usually they have been fake outs. On top of that, well, we are reaching for Bitcoin a massive level of resistance, okay? We are touching this horizontal level of resistance right over here and the bull market and bear market support band. And we are touching both of these levels now. And on top of that, we're getting that weekend pump, right? So I think we are at a crucial decision area point right now for Bitcoin. We need to be breaking above this level in order to flip bullish again. But what I do expect is going to happen next, and what I do think is going to be more likely, based on data, based on history, and based on what we're seeing right now on the charts, coming into this cluster of resistance again, is I do think that a bit of a rejection could be likely and on the table again. Keep in mind that we have seen a huge liquidation wick, right? Right now I'm on the Polynix chart, so right here you can't see this huge liquidation wick that we've got right over here, but keep in mind this wick extended on some of the exchanges all the way back to the 100k level, okay? Everybody knows about this wick still, but usually always after these liquidation events, we tend to see sideways consolidation for a longer period of time. Yes, we do tend to see these pumps back to the upside, like for example right over here, or like for example right over here, or let me grab another one, like for example right over here. Immediately after the liquidation wick, we saw an exit pump, right? Also right over here, we saw a bit of a pump right after the liquidation event. But always after that pump, which we are seeing now, we tend to reverse back to the downside again. So, and tend to see some more consolidation, some more sideways boring consolidation. It always takes about a month or so where we're seeing boring consolidation, boring recovery, boring redistribution or reaccumulation, where we can see, once again, the weak hands getting out and then the strong hands again getting in. And during that period, during that month or so, that's going to be the timing where we want to enter the market. So, yes, we are seeing a very nice pump right now for the shorter time frame, but I just want to be honestly telling you that usually after seeing this pump, after the liquidation event that has been happening, usually we tend to bleed for some more time. And if we have a look into this chart, I do think that it is actually very realistic to go about that scenario and to think about that scenario, because we haven't really quite touched the 50 weekly moving averages just yet. And I do think that in the coming month, we can still bleed down to the 50 weekly moving average to test the 50 weekly moving average and then ultimately go even further to the upside or bleed into a bear market. Now, I have been saying in the last couple of days that I think that this test of the bull market support band is going to be pretty likely, which we are getting right now. However, even though I do think that a little bit more of a bleed in is going to be more likely, in my personal opinion, which maybe possibly is not the preferred scenario for most of you guys, I do think it will be the most likely scenario. However, I do not want to be shorting this. I do not want to be getting out of my positions, because I do think that even though we might get a little bit more of a bleed, well, I do think that we are in a pretty good position. With our position we've got open on Ethereum, because I think Ethereum will continue to show some more strength against Bitcoin. Right now we are still touching this very important level of resistance right over here, but I do think that for Ethereum against Bitcoin, a breakout is going to be inevitable to the top side, just like we have seen right over here, and always after these breakouts, we tend to see massive pushes to the upside. I think the same thing will be happening again, where we're going to be seeing ETH BTC breakout to the upside. And yeah, I'm going to be anticipating, I'm going to be waiting that. Now, I think that this is going to be happening within the coming few days. And because of that, I think that Ethereum can be holding a little bit stronger in this last and final rally of the market. And then once Bitcoin rebounds back to the upside, well, then Ethereum can be exploding to the upside, right? Once Bitcoin rebounds, then Ethereum can be exploding. Now, however, I do think that this will be most likely the scenario. So even the most likely scenario, we're still going to be pretty well off with our positions we have been opening up right over here. So that is why I will remain to keep them open. I will think about placing a stop loss at break even, so I will at least not be losing out on this position. And at least if Bitcoin does decide to dip lower, and if Ethereum does decide to show weakness, we can open up our positions lower again, maybe at the lower side of the range, because Ethereum is starting to form a pretty nice range at the downside right over here. And yeah, we are also having a top side range right over there. So this is looking like a pretty good and valid range. So maybe I'll think about setting my stop loss at break even. So if Ethereum does decide to move lower, I might be able to reopen my position again at the $3,700 level. So that's going to be one thing that I will keep in mind. However, like I've said, I do think that Ethereum will continue to show a lot more strength against Bitcoin. That is what I do think will happen. And there's still going to be a very possible scenario where Bitcoin just goes to the upside. Okay, that is also one of the major reasons why I do not want to be shorting, because we are still holding above the 50 weekly moving average, even if we need to hold down to a little bit, go through a little bit more pain in that shorter time frame. But ultimately, I think it's going to be all fine, because we're still holding above the 50 weekly moving average. So I'm not going to be that worried, in my personal opinion. If we're going to be falling down below the 50 weekly moving average, that is going to be the moment where, yeah, I'm definitely going to be getting worried, and I'm going to be really not, I'm not going to be as aggressive in the market anymore. I may potentially even start to have a look into short positions, but that is not happening yet right now. And I still want to remain to be bullish as much as possible on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, and on altcoins right now at this moment. Now, one thing to do keep in mind is that in a shorter time frame, I do think that Bitcoin can still be pushing a little bit higher, can still take out liquidity above these previous highs right over here. Because yes, a lot of liquidity is piling indeed on the top side at approximately 116.7k level. If we have a look into this chart, 116.7, oh, that's all the way up. I don't think we will reach all the way to the 117.7k level, 116.7k level right now, but definitely I do think that we can extend a little bit higher and go a little bit higher inside of this bull market support band before then for the remainder of this week and remainder of this month, pretty likely bleed a little bit further until then seeing the next push through the upside. Let's see about that. Let me know in the comments in the live chat. Are we still bullish or are you bearish? Are you getting bearish right now, or are we still bullish? Because honestly, many of you guys really know me. I'm known for this guy, which is being very bullish most of the time. Like 99% of the time of this entire bull market, I'm in very bullish. So let me know in the live chat, are you still bullish in the longer term, or are you bearish? Because most of you guys know me as the bullish guy. Some people have even been watching me to use me as hopium in the market. And I mean, if you've been watching me for hopium, I mean, you've been doing pretty well off, pretty good, because this entire bull market, we've pretty much been going to the upside, right? So yeah, if you have been following me for the entirety of this cycle, you've been doing pretty well, probably. But even though many people know me as this guy of being bullish all the time, right now I'm just flipping a little bit. And this is also what I've been saying a few months ago, that I'm just going to be keeping it real. I'll just tell you what I see in the market. And right now in that longer time frame, well, we have to be honest. You have to be honest, because in the longer time frame, guys, things are not shaping up as nicely anymore as they used to do. Okay, things are not looking that good anymore. And I mean, I've predicted the last bull market top right over here at the 60k level, 59k level. It was exactly. You can go back to my YouTube channel to my latest videos, and you can see that I've been getting very and very bearish at the exact top. I'm becoming bullish at the exact, not the exact bear market bottom, but at the 19k level. I've been accumulating during this entire phase right over here, but publicly on my YouTube channel, I've said that the bear market bottom was in at the 19k level. You can also go back to my channel, go back to my latest videos, and you can also see that video right over there. And pretty much, I've got a pretty good track record of that, right? Being bullish throughout the entire bull market right over here. And I've been getting very cautious at the second Fibonacci level of resistance. I have been saying in advance, before it even happened, I've been saying that we're going to be grabbing liquidity at the highs, grabbing liquidity above this Fibonacci level of resistance, and then I'll be getting very skeptical. And even at the date exactly where we have seen the top, I mean, I don't really know if I should say this. It was right over here. It was also right over here. I've been saying right over here that at this top, I've been getting pretty bearish. Okay, at this top, we've been reaching this target over here. I didn't scale out. So that's the thing. I didn't scale out of all of my positions, or my leverage positions, but definitely we have been hitting targets, okay? We have definitely been hitting targets. However, anyways, for that longer time frame, I just want you guys to keep in mind that things are not shaping up very nicely. So let me know in the live chat, what are you guys thinking? Are we still bullish? Are we still bullish? Are you guys still thinking that we're bullish? Or are we getting bearish right over here? The facts are that we are breaking this parabolic structure, okay? We are creating arguably a redistribution range, okay? Money is definitely flowing from the strong hands into the weak hands. We have seen a lot of OG Bitcoin whales scaling out of their positions at the exact top. And this structure right over here definitely sure does look a lot like a distribution range, okay? On top of that, momentum is getting exhausted. You can definitely clearly see that every single push to the upside is getting weaker and weaker. On the RSI indicator, we are creating a double bearish divergence. We are reaching about the end stage of the cycle based on the 4-year cycle. Okay, we are hitting on-chain overheating with the MVRV Z-score getting overheated, with the Nupo chart indicator getting overheated, touching massive levels of resistance, with the 4-year cycle once again reaching a peak, with apparent demand fading, seeing bearish divergences for this cycle again. So these facts are definitely there. Now, definitely, like I've been sharing many times in my update videos, at the same time as well, we can be seeing that gold is moving exponentially to the upside. War tensions are rising. This money might be flowing into crypto as well, because Bitcoin is ultimately the best safe haven, in my opinion. I mean, investors are getting aware of this now, so pretty likely money can start to rotate into crypto. So that is why I do not want to get overly bearish just yet. But also at the same time, I do want to tell you guys that every single time, whenever Bitcoin has topped, it like in hindsight, all of the facts that were there right in front of you, like this fact right over here, like this fact right over here, like this fact over here, in hindsight, you are having a look into these signals and think, oh, how could I have been so stupid to ignore these signals? But when you're living in the moment, it's very hard to actually have a look into these rational signals and have a rational, clear mind and actually take your profit and actually go out of the market, right? Why is this so hard? Because of your emotions, because you're still having the most bullish signals getting in the market at the top. Most people join at the top. it's because the most bullish signals appear at the top. You always have the most amount of confidence in the market at the top. Right now, we are getting to about that moment. We are getting bullish signals. We are getting bearish signals. But everybody is ignoring the bearish signals, and everybody is only having a look into the bullish signals. So I just want to be putting it out there. But I want to know, I want to be aware of the bearish signals, but I also want to be aware of the bullish signals. I want to be aware of both sides, and I want to play and trade what the market gives me. So if the market still remains to show strength, and if we still hold above the 50 weekly moving average, I still want to remain to be bullish. I still want to hold some of my positions, majority leverage positions. Guys, there's a reason why I've been opening up much more leverage positions during this last part of the cycle rather than spot positions. Okay, I think spot positions are there to accumulate during the bear markets and during accumulation ranges, right? During times to accumulate spot positions. But as you are nearing about the end phase of the cycle, I think it's smarter to go into leverage positions, to take on a bit more risk, to utilize this last phase of the market with leverage, but then with your spot positions, start to scale out. Got me? I mean, I think that's a very smart thing to do. On your spot positions, I mean, take your profits a little bit, right? But then on your leverage positions, you can take a little bit more risk again. So, but anyways, definitely, I myself think we are approaching the end of the bull market. I think we are approaching a bear market fairly soon, okay? However, I still want to be bullish, okay? So let me know in the comments, let me know in the live chat, what you guys think about that. Am I smart? Am I stupid? What are you guys thinking? Did you already portions of it? Yeah, I definitely sold portions of my portfolio. Yes, I think it's smart. I mean, I've been saying this also in my videos. In some of my videos, I haven't said it in all of my videos, but that is also the reason why I think you should watch daily and every video of mine all the way through, because there's definitely been a few videos. I don't think I'm not selling every day. Okay, I'm selling like 10% on one day, then 10% on another day. And there's definitely been five videos where I've said that I'm taking profits and I'm selling some of my spot. And guys, that is a reason why you want to watch every video of mine. That is the reason why you want to watch every video through, all the way through. Also, for example, I'm not sure. I think you're watching this live stream. Probably you're watching every video all the way through. But also, in the beginning of today's video, I mean, I don't know if you could see it, but in the beginning of the video, I've been talking about, like, for example, its liquidity on the top side, etc. But then in the end of the video, only in the last minute or the last 2 minutes of the video, I've been talking about this level of resistance, and I've been saying that this is looking very dangerous. Okay, if you're only watching the title, thumbnail, and the intro, or the first 2 minutes, then you might think, oh yeah, liquidity on the top side, we're all good. We're gonna blast through resistance. We're gonna be heading even higher. But if you're watching the video all the way through, you know all of the context that I'm talking about. You know all of the hidden gems that I was talking about, and then you know that I'm really having a look into this level of resistance now. This is the most important thing. Like, literally, this is really the most important thing right now. Let me know in the live chat as well, again, if you think we can break above this level, yes or no, right now, or if we're still going to be seeing a bit of a rejection, slow bleed, and then break above. I think what's changed in this cycle is that people stop buying spot and just trade leverage now. Not really. There's definitely more leverage around. Open interest is definitely higher. That's a fact. That's for sure. But also the market is bigger, and I mean, I still know a lot of friends and still know a lot of traders and still know a lot of people, also in my community, a lot of people are also on X, etc., or just spot, right? Just trade spot even. So not true, not true. Still, there's a lot of people holding spot. I hope you're recovered. Yeah, I'm recovered. I mean, you just need to keep a rational mind, and I mean, it's bad, you know, it's bad, but I can get over it. I can get over it. What about altcoin season coming? Yeah, so let's talk about that right now briefly, because I do have to admit, okay, it's time to admit, first of all, I've been pretty spot on for this entire cycle, right? For Bitcoin, been bullish throughout the end, like I've shared, right? Let me grab this chart. Like, for example, here, calling the top here, calling the bottom again here, been bullish throughout the entire cycle. Right now, saying publicly during this stage over here that it's starting to look toppy. And also, not to forget, Ethereum getting very extremely bullish on Ethereum at the bottom right over here. Okay, holding all of my positions all the way through, taking my profits at the 4K, and also at the top right over here. So pretty spot on about that. But I have to admit, one thing I haven't really been spot on about was altcoin season, because I have to admit, I've been bullish. Okay, first, I've been very bullish on Bitcoin dominance during this entire period right over here. I've been saying only hold Bitcoin, blah blah. And then from of this point, it was like May 2024. During that point right over here, I've been starting to get bullish on altcoins, and yeah, we did make some very nice gains. For example, in November 2024, we made very nice gains. I did, in fact. I was very, very bullish on altcoins at the exact top right over here. And we did, in fact, make a lot of profits with our altcoins. I mean, if you dollar cost averaged in from of the May 2024 and then dollar cost averaged in, I know for a fact your average entry probably was, like for the Bitcoin dominance then, was higher than current prices, right? So, I mean, if you've been following me every day, still, you have been doing pretty well, still, even with the altcoins. Pretty likely. However, where I'm wrong about, and what I have to admit, like fairly, truly, like honestly, is that I do not think the Bitcoin dominance anymore can dip all the way to the lows again. Okay? Because I do think that the 4-year cycle is almost already over, pretty likely, and I do not see it coming anymore where we're gonna see this happening in 1 month time, right? Like 1 month time. I don't see it happening anymore. So I have to admit, yeah, QT, quantitative tightening, was more influential than I thought. Okay, I thought we could see altcoins rallying even higher than we have seen. I thought we could see altcoins picking up more momentum than we have seen. Definitely, the Bitcoin dominance did see a substantial drop, but I was thinking it could drop all the way to the lows. Right now, I have to readjust that, and I think it will be dropping to about 55% or so. We will see this last leg over here, and then a big, I don't know, for next bear market, maybe all the way this for the next bear market, and then during next cycle, we are probably going to be, can you see everything on this chart? Yeah. The next cycle, we're going to be seeing quantitative easing, and then we're going to be seeing probably our big final good altcoin season. So yeah, I still do think that the altcoins will see a nice rally still, but not all the way to the lows anymore. So yes, I'm still bullish on altcoins. Still bullish on altcoins here, because I do still think that altcoins can be outperforming Bitcoin in this last part of the cycle, especially if we have already seen that Bitcoin top, right? This chart, we have discussed it many times, where Bitcoin has seen the top, and then after the Bitcoin top, 1 month after the Bitcoin top, we have still seen Ethereum and altcoins outperforming. So especially with that chart, like I still do think that altcoins can be outperforming. Okay, so but the real big outperformance all the way to the lows right over here, I think we need to wait for that for next cycle. Okay, so yeah, I just have to admit, I just have to admit on that one. Okay. I'm not sure about altcoin season, to be honest. Every alt season has been led by new coins releases pumping out of the gate. No, indeed. Very true. I feel sad for people who lose money leverage trading. Yes, but like in the end of the day, I made much more money leverage trading than I lost on this wick right over here. So, I mean, in the end of the day, leverage trading is very profitable if you know what you're doing. And I think swing trading is also much easier to do than to try and predict the market on the spot, on the dollar, on the minute, on the day. I think day trading is a lot harder to do than swing trading. Swing trading is a lot easier. Anyways, now for Ethereum. Let's have a look into the shorter time frame. Can we see something interesting? I mean, I do feel like the markets can push a little bit higher in the shorter time frame. Maybe. Break above this downtrend, see this push, and then maybe. Let's see about that. Okay, I definitely do not want to get bearish. However, I am like that's what I like to say, right? I don't want to get bearish. However, I want to be aware of the scenarios and I want to be aware of the bearish signals that we're getting. In a shorter time frame, I definitely do think we can push a little bit higher. Maybe go to the top side of this, maybe the 113K level. I think that's going to be a pretty interesting level. Let's map out that level on this chart. I don't like this Polynex chart. It's only good for the long time. So yeah, 113K. I think this is a pretty interesting level. Get to that previous cluster here. Get to the top side of the market. Support, resistance band. Anyways, yeah. This is it, basically. Let me know if you have any questions. Anyways, what I'll do is, for the people that are in a Platinum group, let's have a bit of a chat in a Platinum group. We can talk about some things in a Platinum group. So make sure to join the Platinum group with the first link down below. And also, by the way, let's check up. How's the competition going? How's the competition over on weeks going? Where's the leaderboard? Oh, it's right now 1.5 billion. That's insane. So I guess if we just go a bit harder on the VX, I think we can definitely grab some nice prices still. So yeah, let's all start trading over on weeks right now. And also you have this individual zone, right? So even without the team, you can also grab prices on the individual zone. So yeah, make sure to check that out still. I mean, Weeks is hosting some very nice, good tournaments and good prices. They're giving away a lot of money. Anyways, for the newcomers, make sure to go to the beginning of the stream, because in the beginning of the stream, I talked about some more alpha and I talked about all of the potential scenarios. I talked about everything that I do think will be happening next for Bitcoin. So yeah, a lot of value has been dropped during this stream again, during this quick stream. However, yeah, I will be ending this stream for today. Make sure to join the Platinum group with the first link down below. And guys, obviously, I'll see you in another update video tomorrow morning. And of course, I'll see you on the inside of the Platinum group.